Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another Saturday for the Master Relationship Mechanic Show. I am so excited that we have made it to this month of December. And it was just something that has been on my heart and my mind. I just really needed to share my journey on this media journey. And I feel like my hair is just doing flyways this morning, got static. So but let's get past the static and the journey of that hair matter. Today has been a little off kilter. If you notice, I'm in a different place in a different spot. Have a few guests here at the house, so I had to move someplace, get back in the office where I started out this morning to be heard and get clarity. So I'm here in this special spot for a special reason. So we're going to talk about today, and I'm the guest. I'm the host today. I'm guesting and hosting today because I want to start off with my journey, and I have some awesome, phenomenal guests coming for the rest of the month to talk about this media. When we talk about speaking what we want to see, but then the action that we have to put into speaking what we want to see. So that is very, 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 very crucial when we were talking about this media journey. And let you know what I'm doing. I'm making sure I can see everybody's comments while we're on the stream. So I do want to make sure that I am engaging with you all, responding to comments. So I love it when we talk to each other and not me just talking at you. So give me a second to make sure I'm connected to all my media outlets in the same form and fashion to connect. I had to move a little bit, shift a little bit. So things are a little different this morning as far as to how I see and how I'm hooked up. But to God be the glory. As soon as I jump on, I see a lovely message from my husband. He tell me I'm doing a great job, so I have to thank him for always being here to support me. So today I want to start us off from Zechariah. Zechariah 14 is going to be the main, but we're going to go take a little journey back one verse. Let's see if I still have it pulled up here. Now I'll pull it up again because it's one particular word that I want to make sure that we talk about in Zechariah 9 as well. So walk with me. Let me see if it'll, let me go back a little bit. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. I have to shift a little bit. Throws me off a little bit because I have it all planned out in one space, everything laid out where I need it. But this morning, so we're going to start off on Zechariah, and it is 4:9 through 10, 4:9 and 10 that I'm going to give you. We're going to focus on 10 when we're talking about don't despise small beginnings. When we're talking about this media journey, this speaking what you see and walking out. So it says Rubel is the one who laid the foundation of this temple, and he will complete it. Then you will know that the Lord of heavens, Amy's, has sent me. Do not despise these small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work being, to see the plumb line in Zerubbabel's hand. So let's talk about don't despise these small beginnings from the Lord's rejoices to see the plumb line in Zerubbabel's hand. One thing I wanted to make sure that we caught back in 9, Zerubbabel laid a foundation. So in this media journey, and while we're talking about media right here at the end of 2020, 2020 was for vision, for focus, for clarity. Now is an opportunity for you to go back and do some connecting, some networks, some building, some relationships. And that's what media is, building relationships. So when we're talking about that best relationship during this season, you should have been connected with the master media person who's talking and putting your name and putting you in people's thoughts so you can show up and know what doors need to be open and which doors to walk through. So if you're connected in God and this line up for him, he's going to, then he worked within you to get right. So now it's time for you to get out, get seen, get features, get presented, get to speaking, get to walking into what it is that you say you want. So the key there is Zerubbabel laid the foundation. So what foundation have you laid is very crucial to this conversation. What foundation have you laid? Um, and that's a question you're going to have to ask yourself. What foundation have you laid? Because you say, I want to be seen more places. I want to be heard more places. I want to serve more people. I want to connect to more people. How have you made that possible? What is the foundation that you laid? What have you established yourself on? So, and when it jumps into 10, it says, don't despise these small beginnings. So it's letting you know, even once you lay the foundation, there's still some building and some structuring and some growth that goes through this process. No one blew up overnight and got into media and landed just where they wanted to be in the spotlight and get connected to the clientele and the people that they wanted to serve overnight. That's why God talks about these small beginnings. But the key is here is we must begin. And the Lord rejoiced at that beginning. So God is glad that you're beginning. So in the beginning, there's some things you probably laid down. And the thing is, he wants to see the plumb line in your hand. The plumb line back then was getting everything in order, everything squared up, everything aligned. So that means everything fit into its place. So when he was plumbing everything up, straightening it, making sure the measurements were correct, that means he was spending the time and energy to making sure he had a strategy. So right here is the opportune time to get a strategy. I have some phenomenal people coming on to talk about media strategies. How do you connect to the right people? How do you build these relationships? What is the power of your message, your mess? So let us make sure this month we are connecting. And I jumped in because a lot of people, this is your first time being introduced to me right here this season within this show. So it wasn't that I just became new to media. I just had to transition in media to a different platform where I am owner of my own platform now. Thank you, Travis, wherever you're watching for it from. Just let me know. I'm glad you joined in. I appreciate that. So I love being able to learn new technology and navigate. So I would consider myself still beginning. I haven't learned this craft so much that I don't feel like I have journeyed to be a mentor per se. I can teach you some things that I've went through. I can teach you some of the lessons that I've learned. But the key here is if you are using a particular platform, learn it well. Learn it where you become that expert in that area of that platform so you can navigate and become a master of it before you jump to too many platforms. Now, when we talk about media, a lot of people, the first thing they talk about is TV and radio. But remember, we got magazines, we got podcasts, we have streams now. And the beauty, I've been indoctrinated in them all. So I've loved my journey. Some of it's good, some of it's bad, but all of it was a lesson. So the thing is, even when you're beginning, sometimes that's why I say it's the plumb up, it's the strategy, it's the connections, it's the relationships. All of it is not 100% good. But the thing is, you have to be tuned in to God. And that's why we're talking about this right here on this show. It's this tuning in, it's this connection. So I'm going to just talk about some of the things I went through and a strategy that I will say that you need to make sure that you lay out before yourself. Number one, when you enter or get into any media place, what is the purpose? What is the outcome that you are desiring from it? Is it to build up your name? Is it to get visibility? Is it get leads? Is it to get connections? What is the outcome from anything that you have gotten yourself involved in? I've been connected to some wonderful magazines. It allowed me to have voice and get some of the things off my heart, and that was really key in that season to finding my voice. I will share that link here in the detail because that magazine is phenomenal, and I'll put their name out there. It's Team Jesus magazine. They're a phenomenal magazine. Of course, Team Jesus is automatically makes it phenomenal, but the articles and the information that they put out, it really helped me birth that Christian voice in writing. You know, I always knew that God was speaking through me to me, but it helped me find another voice. Hello, Kenya. Thank you for jumping in. Definitely, you can come in and engage here to what we're talking about. So, what are you doing it for is the key when you're on this journey. When you are speaking things that you want to see? What is the outcome of this? Is it that you just want to see yourself on a cover? Is it just want to see your name in a byline? What is the real outcome? If it is just to be seen, that will be your only reward on the journey. And we know that in word, you wait for God to lift you up. Because if you are doing it just to be seen, anything, if it's no love, if it's no impact, if it's no service connected to your wanting to get into this media space, your reward will only be being seen, and you will not get anything additional from it. And sometimes it ends up blowing up in your face and being bad. So that is very key, very fundamental on the journey. I guess I need to have like a transparent moment, because I said I wasn't new. So I told you Team Jesus magazine was one of the places that I got connected to as far as finding that voice. Mona, Jessica, thank you for jumping in. I'm just here really talking about don't despise small beginnings and understanding when you speak what you want to see, what is the outcome. And we're here in 2020 at the end talking about this so that you can plan and have a strategy for the beginning of your 2021 and all of your relationships. But I'm here talking about media, specifically for me on my journey and how it got me to this place. Thank you for jumping in, Scott. So if anybody wants to get engaged and have any particular questions. So along this journey, the foundation is what it started off in Zechariah 9. It's talking about laying a foundation. And most of the time we have a shaky foundation because we're not sure what is at the end. And a lot of us begin that whether you are in a relationship or whether this is your business, you have not established what is the final outcome and all the weight that it needs to carry. So a lot of times we have to restructure and move to a different place in order to get this where it is that we need it to be. So I've had to make some shifts because I really wasn't I didn't do the strategy of understanding how the media was connected to my business, but it was opportunities that I wanted to take, and it actually helped me grow. It helped me develop. So those were the things. And I can say in hindsight, if even if you don't know what the steps are at this very moment, identify what the outcome is so that you can connect with some particular coaches and some mentors to help you find out what your media outcome is. If you're not trying to be a media personality, or if you're not trying to brand your business, but if you're trying to highlight something, and let me say, when I say media, I'm talking about even in social media, in your personal life. Why are you out here? What is the outcome? Why are you posting? What is your purpose for putting your business out on social media? There should be an outcome that you're expecting. Are you expecting to engage with family and friends so they can know what's going on in your life? Are you expecting to become a social media phenomenon because you are doing crazy things? Are you doing it to get visibility for people to buy things from you, from your, your boutiques or different things that you have? So it is a branding tool. Be very clear what it is that you're trying to get your outcome. And that is key, because no matter where you begin, and all of us began small. No matter where you began, there has to be a purpose for each step. Otherwise, you turn around and you go back. For you all new, and this is your first episode or your first season joining us, we've made many, I'll say backdrop changes, not so much studio changes. This media ministry here, this channel, and I call it a media ministry because it is to minister to people to have their best life with God, self, and others. And I call it a ministry because I don't charge people to get onto this platform, or I don't have sponsors or anything like that. It's a ministry, and we're just out here speaking. So it is by God's grace that we stream. It is by God's grace that it is kept and it is connected. It is one of our media ministries. Of course, you can find me on different places, on YouTube and stuff, doing other messages to empower people. But this is our media ministry, one of the streams. If you jump on the website, we are starting a blog, magazine to help people actually stay connected. So it's other things that we have. We've been on podcasts, we've been on live stream radio, we've been featured, and we've had covers. But I want to talk about this live stream, this radio, this TV journey. For me, let me start you off since this is my fourth year. So let's roll back in 2016 May when this all began, the Master Relationship Mechanic show. Um, I was not looking to be on radio. I was not looking to be on a YouTube channel. I wasn't really looking for anything in particular, and that is where the not looking, I didn't necessarily have a strategic outcome when I connected with 108 Praise, wonderful station, and they have transitioned to, I believe, Clark TV Network. But the beauty is in that connection. I built other relationship with other media personalities and different things, which allow me to have strategic opportunities now. And that's the key. The relationships and the connections that you make when you are in a place, even though that particular place might not be fulfilling your final outcome, but it's building. And so what that particular place built for me was the capability to kind of talk to just the camera or screen, not see people. So at least now I can see some names floating up on the screen. There, when you are doing live stream, you see no names floating up on the screen. So it's just literally you and God and the guest, and you feel like you're just talking to air. So you have to get a place of comfort and confidence that you are doing it to really have an impact. Having an impact and empowering somebody when you're doing it and there is nobody to be seen. So that was key to building me and growing me, because I had came from an environment as a trainer, as an instructor, with a live audience, sometimes 800 or more people in a room. And there was a vibe, there was an atmosphere that was preset that you could tell, and you could see the feedback in the faces that helped fuel the communication that was going on. And so here, only thing that fuels me is because I can't see y'all wonderful faces, and a lot of times you all go silent on me, but I know you're there, whether it's live or in replay. I know you all come here, so God, thanks for that. But I have to be fueled by God and say, hey, you have me here speaking for a particular reason at this particular time about this particular information. And I know at the end of this year, this media is a slice of the pie that people need when they're making decisions, when they're planning. And that's why I say, even in your personal life, if you're saying, hey, maybe I need to readjust how I'm communicating on social media, how this is coming across. Is it hindering me from getting my next promotion, or is it hindering me from getting my best relationship because I have put myself out there in a particular way, in a particular image? And that is what is limiting you and blocking you. So realize media is one of the ways that people are able to view you, see you, characterize you, and get to know you. So that is it. Because like most of you, hey Leon, thank you for jumping on. Um, I would say most of the people's names that I've seen scrolling up and scrolling through watching, I haven't had the wonderful opportunity to meet you in person, but I do like to meet the people in person. But this is the only connection that we have and that we get right here. But I love it when I can know what city and where you are, so that when I'm in your city or when I'm in your neighborhood, I can give you a shout out and say, hey, would you like to meet? Would you like to have lunch? Would you like to have coffee? And that is something that I'm really, really keen on. And we need to be in that place where we're not just having social connections in this digital world, but we are connecting socially outside that. And I know you say we're in a pandemic, but the thing is the safety to still have those connections. Let's not get to the point we are just in a digital ties world. So jumping back to the original start and not necessarily having a strategic plan. So during that time, I got a lot of being seen. I got on some red carpets for some different musical events. I got on the red carpet for some different events that were being held here in Atlanta, for different events and things like that. So it gave me the exposure, but I didn't understand because I didn't have a strategy on place in order how to connect that to the outcome for my business. And as I evolved, I realized some of those things were just busy work for me because they were not a part of my packaging, what I needed, and the voice and the people that I was trying to connect to. So be sure in this social world, whatever social platforms that you're on, who is it that you're trying to connect to? Or are you just trying to have a huge list of people so I can say I have a lot of followers, I have a lot of people with me, and this is personally and professionally? How and why are so many people connected to you, and is the purpose of this gigantic connection? Or where are you leading them? That is where what you need to ask yourself. Where are you leading these people? Are you leading them into insight in your life because you're trying to impact and empower them to do something positive through you with living as an example? Or is it you're trying to entertain them during just the season where it's a difference? Or are you trying to sell them? So there's different levels of things. So my goal here is always to impact and empower you, and then of course for you to connect with me. Impact and empower, and for you to connect with me, so then we can have that dialogue naturally as well. So let's see. No. All right. So remembering our outcome. So saying that I didn't necessarily have things laid out like I needed to. I had opportunities to connect with people, probably to mold and groom, that I could have. I shouldn't say I should have, but I could have probably been in a different media space by now. But I kept putting it off because I was saying it wasn't the right time. So be careful when we're calling our timeline and God has put these doors before us to connect to these people, and we don't use that as an opportunity. And we always say, well, they'll be available later on. They may be, but the opportunity may cost you more, and you may have missed out on some things along that journey. So along this media journey, I started off in a studio, which was a different and a great experience of when you have somebody else producing behind the scenes. They have everything for you. So now I'm on a different journey, learning my own production, learning how to do my own balance, my own strength. So, and I have a media coach who is working with me through all of these things. So hopefully every show you see something getting a little bit better and something improving, whether it's sound, whether it's lighting, whether it's the graphics, whether it's the guests, the communication. So, Deborah, thank you for joining in with us. And so I am just glad to be here. But now saying, okay, so growing and moving from opportunities. So when you aren't, sometimes you have to move and you have to shift, and you have to be keen when God is telling you to shift to different places and connect to different people. So let's talk about the differences along this platform. And I'll probably, not probably, I will, because I've been advised to give a deep and detail about the why in the shifting, because I went from studio. The studio gave me an opportunity to stream from home. And of course, doing that stream from home, there were some very particular obstacles and some very particular things that go on. So do you continue pushing forward when you have obstacles is the key, or do you just shut down your business and say, it was not meant to be? And I'm going to be very transparent. I almost did not start this show back. I almost did not get back in the season because things weren't perfectly aligned to me with some things that I wanted to happen and I wanted to do. Beyond that, some of my social media had been hacked, so it was like I have to start all over again, brand new. Getting new people to listen and bringing new people on. So I felt like I had lost so much that I didn't need to continue. But let me tell you where the humor is in this journey. During that loss was the time that this show, the Master Relationship Mechanic Show, actually got an award for being the best television show. And it was a prophetic word because at that time we were only doing live stream radio. Yeah, it was visual, it was YouTube. So it was a prophetic word. And that is when we had lost all of our social media access. Somebody had hacked. So I didn't have access to any of my business pages. I didn't have access to the show page anymore. I didn't have access to my personal page anymore. So it is amazing during the season sometimes when God cuts off everything else that you think that needs to get you somewhere is the opportunity that he will give you an award and something to encourage you to continue on. So saying that, it took me an opportunity to get these pages and everything back up, to get the coaching that I needed to, so to be able to set up these platforms and see what was actually the strategy for reaching you all, what was our mission and what was our goal and what is the final outcome that I want people to receive. So the final outcome, when you join me on Saturday, the purpose of this is not just for you to say, I'm going to have, I don't want you to just have affirmations. I don't want you to just leave in a feel good. I want you to have some steps to apply. So number one is understanding your outcome so you can build the appropriate foundation. The foundation is the part, of course, people don't get to see you necessarily. People don't get to hear you. It's all of that behind the scenes stuff that I say. That's why I say I had to rebuild to get to where it is God says that I'm going, to that best television show. So we got an award for something I didn't even think where we were yet. So God is humorous. God blesses you, and he calls it as it is. So we have to become what God said we are. We have to jump in here, give you quality content, have quality guests. And so that's what you are in expectation of here. Yes, we will have fun. We will be real. We will be transparent. But the thing is, we're showing up for you. So that is why I say this is not a show where you just jump in, listen, sit back and watch us, whether it's on your YouTube, whether you put it up on the big TV, whether you're watching it on Facebook. You don't have to just sit back and watch us. I do want you to interact and engage with us and say what it is that you need. And we will communicate back and find you those tools and those resources. So that was one of the greater shifts when I made it. Had thought, hey, everything had shifted. I'm not gonna restart this again. So, and it was in a financial hardship that I still continued this show with my husband's support and the grace of God. You all will see some episodes with some black screens. And I've had some people say that black screen wasn't the most flattering screen that I had behind me, but you know, that black screen represented a time that we were going through a dead season. We were going through a season because we were actually homeless doing that black screen. And you say you continue to show during the black screen. Yes, because God said continue to speak, continue to talk to the people, continue to tell them what I say that you're supposed to be speaking about. A lot of times when we're going through things, we don't want to get out and talk to other people, but that is when our ministry is most powerful because we can push through what it is we're going through. We cannot look like what it is we're going through. We can still understand God's goodness when we are going through. So that way, when we can do it differently and when we can look differently, people can see the change when God has brought you through something. So you all go back and look at some of those black screen episodes. Say the black screen wasn't that flattering, but you might want to put me on where you can just hear the audio. But to God's glory, that was a phase. And like I said, I'm gonna get deeper into I'm gonna do some little clips. They'll probably be over in Instagram, and I'll share the links for anybody that's interested. I'm gonna talk about the black strings. I'm gonna talk about the meaning behind this logo entry that you get, and the logo is something very special and near to the journey that and if you can, like I say, you look at previous episodes, the journey has the logo has transitioned, the branding has transitioned. It fits. Everything has been strategically put in place now. I know what the outcome is. I know what it is that I need to speak to see, and I know the actions and the steps that I need to take. So let's talk about when I'm talking about speak to see in our lives. we must say what we want the end to be. And after that, have a consultation with God, because he has always tells us, write the vision, make it plain, and then get about the work of doing it. We got to have some action, some faith that's working in this process. So I said in times in my life, I want to see myself on the cover of magazines. So I've been on the cover of different magazines. I've been featured in different magazines, and I put forth the effort. It wasn't just somebody just called me and said, hey, because you're so wonderful. No, you have to put the effort. You have to build the relationships. So when you're speaking this, God will send you the connections. Do not miss out on that. My husband likes to tell me about the one where the man was in the flood, and he was waiting, kept saying he was waiting on God, but God was sending him people. He sent him somebody with a boat. He sent him somebody with a helicopter. He sent him various help. So during this journey, recognize where your help is coming from. Do not think you're on a solo trail and the only person that is with you is God. God is with you 100% of the time, but he sends you somebody in this earthly realm to help you. So let us be cognizant and aware of that help that God is giving us. That is crucial on this journey. And I probably won't be here today. This is probably going to be an abbreviated version, because I just wanted to make sure that I set the foundation for this media that's coming up, for this month, to make sure you're preparing for 2021. If you had not begun, I want to make sure you're setting the foundation. I want to make sure that you understand why you're connected to certain things. What relationships are you building? Which relationships are you nurturing? What areas are you working in? And why are you showing up in these places, in different places? So if you have every last social media, every last app, what are you doing on them? And I know some people, they have every last one of them and they're showing up. But the thing is, are you just cookie cuttering, or are you doing the best and really navigating through that, becoming the expert on that particular one? So I appreciate you all joining me. And I know this was a little twist, a little bit different on our Saturday, but I just wanted to set this foundation for our month of media, speaking what we want to see, putting action to our words, and not being disappointed with having these beginnings and have to start over again to realign, to get the outcome. So I'm excited, and I got to start this season again, and I put forth the effort. I'm excited that people are listening in and commenting. I'm always excited about that. I'm excited about my guests for the remainder of this month and what they will be bringing and enlightening you on, so that you do not make some of the same mistakes that I have made on this journey. So these are connections that you can get now, so that you can get a strategy in place. Why am I showing up in these places and doing what it is? Is it a necessity for my personal and my professional life? Is it a necessity? So have a conversation with God. Make sure that we can connect again, and I see you again next Saturday at 11 o'clock, and we will go the entire hour, if not over, and we will be having our the frequency. So we will be ready for the frequency and adding our music interview. We will be back to our relationship tool, adding the resources. So we will have that engaging. What is it that is the tools that we use to have our best relationships? So I thank you all for joining me for this abbreviated version of the show on this Saturday morning. And I wish you to have a better today than your yesterday. So I am Cortne Lee Smith. I am a grief and a loss coach, where I move you from what could have been and should have been to what will be. So your today will be better than yesterday.